Hey, this is Mike Sandoval here with MUSE here at It's Not Dead Festival with Chris from Anti-Flag. How's everything going so far?
Very well. I've been able to avoid the heat for the last couple hours under this tent thing with you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, since this is like a rebirth of a 90s Warped Tour,
Yeah.
what does it feel like to be here, to be with all these bands, and just reconnect again?
Well, you know, as the band that's been together for 22 years and the youngest band on our stage, I feel, you know, we're just wide-eyed. We're young kids. We're just here to experience it. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. We're all great friends, so it's a really easy thing. I mean, to the people that are running the stage, to the people that put it on, the people we're emailing our guest list to, these are all our friends that have been our friends for decades. So it's like riding a bike. It's very simple, and once we found out what time we were playing, we just came to the show, and we're here. Yeah.
So, like I said, I've been following you guys since day one. What do we have to look forward to from Anti-Flag for next year and the coming years?
Yeah. Well, we just put out a record this year. It's called American Spring, and that's what we're working on and focused on right now. The record is it continues in the trajectory of Anti-Flag. You know, we're challenging the status quo, but we're also very focused on what's happening now. You know, it seems like there's endless police murder. It seems like this belief in immigration as free reign to spout racism is at an all-time high. The largest divide ever between the wealthy and the poor. These are all issues that are related to one another, and we hope to leave behind a collection of songs that when people look back on 2015, they can say that there were people who believed that Donald Trump and Mark Rubio and Hillary Clinton and Jeb Bush were not the answer to the world's problems, and that's why we exist as a band. So our agenda is what it always is. We're going to take these songs on the road. We're going to do 2 months in Europe. At the beginning of the year, we'll be back on the West Coast with Leftover Crack. And then we're going to do the East Coast as well. And then we might shift our focus to the presidential election with that happening next year. And it's also the 20th anniversary of our record, Die for the Government, and the 10th anniversary of our record, For Blood and Empire. So we might kind of focus on those a little bit coming up.
Do you ever feel, because like for me, sometimes I feel, when you brought this up with the politicals and the whole thing that's going on right now, that it just seems to repeat itself and it never seems to change?
Well, it's definitely cyclical, and it reiterates the fact that change doesn't come from presidents or prime ministers or the Pope driving his truck around New York City. Change has always come from the people. So when you look at Ferguson, Missouri, that change, that shift, that happened because of the people on the streets. When you look at Baltimore and the killing of Freddie Gray and the subsequential prosecution of the police officers that killed them, that's a direct result of the people in the streets in Baltimore. You look at the refugee crisis in Europe and how impactful the punk rock community is in that, and it's a very loud voice of anarchists in the street, a very loud voice of people that consider themselves the left or the counterculture in the streets in Europe, who are calling for better human relations just with each other. And that to me is what gives me hope. That to me is where change actually comes from, and I'm not afraid of our future, because I meet a lot of people on a daily basis when we play shows like this where people have hope in their hearts and have empathy on their minds, and they believe in caring about more than just themselves.
Great to hear. Great way of putting it. Turning to another part, going back into It's Not Dead Festival. When you get a moment to actually get to see some bands, who are you looking forward to seeing today?
Well, definitely the Bouncing Souls, definitely NoFX, Bad Religion, the Vandals. I mean, the entire lineup is something really cool. I missed H2O, and I know Toby went to his son's soccer game, so I said what's up to him and he left. So yeah, I mean, that's another example of a lot of punk rock dads here who are playing the show and then going home to their families and stuff. So that's okay. That's what happens when the bands are older.
Well, hey, thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. And don't forget to check out SoCalMuse.com and to check out MUSE on Google Play Newsstand.